Workers get a pretty bad rap. They can end up in the woods, they can not know where a field is, they can just mess up your lines. So I want to talk real quick about how you can have workers help get the work done quicker rather than just being annoying. So the first trick I want to talk about is doing your headlands. Headlands is the perimeter around a field, and what this does, if you do it for the worker, is it shows the worker where the field is, because they will only go to where the headland is. So I'm going to do 2 quick passes around this field, around the outside, and once I do that, I will be able to set a worker off without issue. So let me get the field set up and we'll be right back. A couple tricks I want to talk about here before you set your worker off. Your worker is going to snap to 5-degree angles. So if you look at the bottom left down where the map is, I'm at 199.1 degrees. So if I line them up at 180, which is what this field is, or pretty close to it, it's going to follow that degree marker within 5 degrees. So I want to be lined up. I want to be a little bit of overlap just in case I missed anything when I did my headlands. And I want to start them right back here at the end of the field. Another trick. The worker is going to go the speed at which your cruise control is set, not the speed of your tractor. So this tractor, if I set it to 32 miles per hour, then the worker will go the maximum speed that the tractor or the implement can go. If I set it down to 3 miles per hour, for example, set it to 3, and I set him off, I'm just going to hit the button to hire a worker. I set him off, you'll see he'll only actually go 3 miles per hour. So if you want to confirm that you're at the right angle, it's a pretty good trick to make sure that they're going to go the right way first. You can see, because of the overlap, it's exactly where I want to be. Now if I want to speed him up while I'm still in the vehicle, I can just set up the cruise control and he'll go up to the maximum speed of the vehicle. And now because there's a headland, when he gets to the end of the line here, he'll stop and he should turn around and hopefully not hit a bush. I've picked this map on purpose because this map, every field is surrounded by bushes, so we want to make sure that he's going to be able to do it here. Had I not put the headlands in, he would have just kept driving until the end of the field, which if you do that on this map, the front of the tractor will end up in the headland or in the bushes. Now if you notice, he might miss a little bit, and that's because the top line of this field, which I picked on purpose, is not straight. And I'm going to show you how to do that on the next field. I'm going to show you some tricks for how to square that off. Now on a much larger field like this one, where you've got different obstacles and you've got non-straight lines, you can utilize the same tricks we talked about before, where you can take your headlands. You see we're on 28 there. You can take your headlands and you can line them up a little bit better than we did before. So what we'll do is we'll kind of square off everything. Now because we have multiple tractors as well, once I do the headlands, I'm going to show you a trick for how you can have multiple tractors go at the same time without issue. So let me do the headlands and I'll be right back. A relatively straight line here, so I'm going to use the mini map again. I'm going to go at 360 degrees, or pretty close to it. Unfold this and put it down, and I'll just kind of start driving, and then I'll set the worker off. Get out of his way so that I'm not blocking him. Now what I want to take a look at is what way he turns. So when he gets to the end of the field, and we'll just switch back into him here. When he gets to the end of the field, I want to see if he turns right or left. Depending on which way he turns, I'm going to start the next worker off on the other side of him. So let's see what happens just as he gets to the end. Okay. So, because he went that way, now I'm going to set this next worker off. So let's unfold this. Let's line it up here. Again, I want to be right at that, right around 360 degrees, pretty close to it. We'll set the next worker off here. And now he'll do, get out of his way. He'll do that side of it. So we'll have those two going. We'll take this one. We're going to go off in this other section back here. And we'll set this one off. Now you don't need to necessarily have 3 or 4 pieces of equipment going at once, but you can. So let's unfold this. Again with our straight lines that they're going all the same direction. And we'll set him off. Okay, so now I've got workers working the whole area. And I'll take the John Deere, which was complete over at the other side. And what I can do, if you'll notice, this isn't really square. So probably what I would do, if I didn't have another job to do, right? I could go do something else, another field or something at this time. Or I can help them out a little bit by squaring off everything. So I'm going to do the same thing here with the John Deere. And I like to just kind of line up pretty much at the edge here. Put that down. And we'll just kind of set him off. Now I have enhanced vehicle controls, so I can do a lot of different things. For example, I can find this angle here at 330 and just kind of square it off this way if I wanted to. Or I could say I want to go like this. And enhanced is really just like GPS. So let's do this, for example. Let's set it to 0. Set that. And now we're at the same line they are. So I can split the field for myself and also work this hard bit over here while they do all the easy bits together. Really, you can do whatever you want with this. You can also kind of box them in. So for example, what we'll do here is once we get to the end, we'll square in one of these other workers, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's say I didn't like the way they're doing the top of this. They're not really doing a square job. I can box them in a bit. So I'll line this up at 90. Just go straight across here. And what you'll see happen is when they come up on their next pass, they'll stop at this line that I've made, this box that I've put around them. So I could have done this as well from the beginning, is I could have actually squared in where I want the worker to go, because he won't leave this box now that I've made for him. When he hits that line, he'll think he's done with the field, or done with the, done with the top part of the field, and he'll just turn around. So as he comes up, and I'll just keep kind of cleaning this up real quick here. Keep an eye on him. So as he comes up here, you'll see he'll hit that line and he'll turn right around. And because it's square, or an exact line to the line that he was doing, he's not going to have a problem doing anything. He's not going to miss any bits or anything along those lines. So let's leave him there. We'll do this line real quick. As I say, he's not going to miss any bits. He still does. I didn't say they were perfect. We'll go figure out what's going on with our challenger down there, who thinks that he's done with his field. It's going to be the same deal. Because that line's not perfectly straight, they get a little bit confused on where the part is, and it happens if they start on a... Basically, if they end up on a point that's lower than where they were, they think they completed their task. So, for example, the way I'm facing right now, because the next part's lower, he might think that he has completed his task. So our case may do the same thing. Let's go over here. We'll just kind of square this up a little bit. So I'm going to do, 90 degrees. And we'll go get this guy. And I know it looks like I'm managing them a lot. I'm doing it a lot for demonstration. You could just leave them in here once you did the headlands, see what they get to, and just come back and check on them. Okay, so we'll let that one go do its thing. Now, the class driver has figured that they were complete because they hit the headland, and they hit a spot where they feel like there's no more field around them. So we're gonna go get that situated as well. And we'll just take the John Deere for now and put them up on here. So we'll start him down on this end. Same deal, I'm just gonna line up at the edge here as best I can. Let him ride. Let's go check on the class tractor. So the reason they stopped is because they hit the headland there, and they can't see any field near them, which is good. This is actually really helpful, because now I'll just take this and I'll just kind of clean up a little bit here. We'll get this completed. And that's going to do it. So just to cover everything, they snap to 5 degrees of an angle. If you do headlands, they won't end up in the woods. And as a reminder, if you set cruise control, they'll only go that fast. And you can just kind of split the field and make them work. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe. I will create a bunch more content like this as well.